Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Sports Gamer GG. This is the ECL Pro week number 4. I'm Tegan, it's King Lime Blair. He is Brandon B. Major Bigsby. And as usual on Tuesdays, we have some amazing games for you on the docket, don't we, Brandon?
That's right, Tegan. With just 2 weeks left in the regular season, two critical matchups for all four of the teams in their playoff hopes. First, on the bottom of your screen, VISU Gaming and Powerhouse HTC, two teams that are currently in, but trying to kind of cement themselves in such a thick playoff race. While in our matchup after that, arguably the best team in the Pro Division in Reality Check, facing a team in Arctic. Two sides that nearly saw themselves go to Elite last season, meet this season with just a few weeks left. It'll be so fun. Happy to be here calling them with you.
And not only do we have great games on the cast today, Brandon, we've also have a lot of good games happening today. So why don't we pop in and have a look at those?
Yeah, the latest results so important this time of season because so many things can shuffle within the standings, especially now where the playoff race is a little bit thicker and things are kind of just ever changing and those games become more and more important the deeper we go down. So it's going to be kind of interesting to see some of the results that have happened as well as some of the way this changed the standings. As you can see, some of the games coming up here today with a few of them having big implications.
Lots with massive implications here as you see all 2 games coming up. Lots from Group 1 in the top half, Brandon, and a few from Group 2. But like you said, lots with playoff implications.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see how some of those affect, and especially you see two of our matchups there, both of them having playoff implications. We mentioned how VISU Gaming and Powerhouse are really close within another. You have some of the teams that are both ahead and behind them playing in some of these games in their groups, so it's going to be interesting. We're going to see one of those two teams rise and fall here after their games today, so going to be really interesting to see how that kind of shifts as we go on throughout the day.
Well, let's take a look at the latest results, Brandon, that we've had so far after taking a look at all these close games that we had to show you. And we'll get it swapped over here in just a second as we were so excited about Elite here, Brandon, that there's so much excitement happening over there. But here we are in the Pro, and look at all those OT games.
Yeah, a lot of close games, and that has been the theme this season, Tegan. They've been a little bit lower scoring than last season, but all of them have been so close. And I think what really stands out to me is the team we're about to cover, Powerhouse HC, beating Renascore, a team that was really good last season, has done pretty well again this season, collecting 4 out of 4 points against a really good opponent. That's a huge win for them to have picked up, 2 huge wins for them to have picked up. We'll see if they can maybe carry that momentum forward, especially with some of the teams behind them starting to catch form a little bit as well.
Well, let's have a look at the standings, Brandon, as we know that one of these groups is so tight, and I'm very excited to have a look.
Yeah, and this is Group 1. You see Reality Check dominant as ever, 21-2-1. We're going to get a look at them later today, and after that, pretty tight throughout. After that first and second spot, it's really anyone's game. You see from that third spot on with Sinister all the way to the right side of the board with Jer Gordon, there's only 5 points separating these two teams, 6 points separating all of those teams. So many things can switch here with games being left for a few teams while a couple of other teams starting to get towards the end of the season. I use Jer Gordon as an example, but they played a lot of their games already. They only have 6 more games this season, so the time to collect points starting to thin a little bit for some of these teams, and some of the teams behind them, a few ahead of them, starting to kind of see themselves have a few games in hand. So a lot of this can change, a lot of this can shift around. It's going to be really interesting to see where this kind of stands as we end the day.
Urgency is going to be pouring out from that right side of the board for your Garden Hockey, Hawaii Hockey, Golden Knights to try and make it over to the left-hand playoff side as we pop over to the standings in group number 2, Brandon. And this is a tight, locked board from 14th place all the way up.
And it doesn't take long to see why our matchup today that we're going to be covering, our first matchup, is so big. VISU Gaming in 5th, Powerhouse HC in 6th. They're tied with VISU just having that goals differential advantage over Powerhouse. But this is the thing, Tegan. If one of these teams wins both games, they can move up to 4 for higher. If one team loses both, they could very well be out of the playoffs completely, as you see a team like Powerhouse has a lot more games played than some of the teams behind them. So this is a huge series for both these two teams, maybe seen as a must-win series. Kind of has that playoff hockey feel to it a little bit because a lot of those teams on the right side of the board, Be A Pro, Prima Esport, Her Left Eagles, they have games in hand compared to a team like Powerhouse and VISU Gaming. So it is imperative that both of these teams snag some points today and bring out their best foot forward.
A little bit more imperative, Brandon, for Powerhouse with 20 games played, but there is a couple teams in front of them with the respective 22 and 26 games played. So a lot of room to move, like Brandon said. Erlev Eagles on the right-hand side, as you're seeing them with 16 games played. And it's amazing how close that they are in points here, Brandon. And it is just going to be a close run all the way through that group number 2. And we love seeing that here at the ECL Pro. And now it's time to deep dive in to the games that we have coming to you tonight. First on the docket, VISU Gaming going against Powerhouse HC. And we'll take a look at how they match up here head to head, Brandon.
Yeah, and it's pretty interesting because they match up rather evenly with each other. It feels like while one team has an advantage on one end, the other has an advantage on the other. See, the goals for favoring Powerhouse HC a little bit, but the goals against VISU a little bit better defensively, and you're kind of seeing the same trend on special teams. Powerhouse, a better power play team by 10% on the nose, while they're just slightly better on the PK, only about a 1% difference between the two, and even more importantly, their records near identical, 10-5-3 for VISU Gaming, 10-7-3 for Powerhouse. So, it's really interesting. They've been even and kind of matched up with really any possible sense that you could see. Even in the standings, these two sides are locked with each other. That's going to probably change here with these two games today.
To agree, Brandon, and this is a massive implication game with both teams being 5th and 6th place and being tied. So let's take a look at who is going to be playing for the respective teams, trying to collect these points. And on the left-hand side, we have VISU Gaming, we have Karki at center, Mookie Maestri on left wing, Sage on the right-hand side, and then pulling up the back end for VISU is going to be Savanainen with Clotten, and in between the pipes will be Pedersen. How about for Powerhouse, Brandon?
Our house rolling with a lineup of Burrito Kuningas, the I-team, and Linesto up at the 3-forward trio, while on the back end of defense, JVA and Katunen on D, and then between the pipes in net, Sweet Suki Mestody, and who has been a great pickup for them in the offseason, coming over from Dynastia. And man, Tegan, how even are these two teams? It's going to be so fun to watch who is going to be able to step up for both of these two sides.
They are oh so close, as we saw in the team stats, and I'm curious to see how close the players are to each other as we'll pop into a head-to-head versus center with Karaki on the left-hand side and the I-team on the right.
Yeah, and you want to talk about even, how about 30 points compared to 29 points for our two centers at only 0.4%? Differentiating them from the face-off percentage. And it's so interesting because we've talked about this being so even, and the first thing we start out with is two centers, a position we say can impact the game so much, being pretty much dead even with each other. So it's going to be so fun to see if one of these two can step up. I think Karki could be a player to watch. Last time I saw her with Boomers last season, felt like she was all over the ice scoring goal after goal after goal. Came over this season, has been a great addition to this VISU Gaming team. She'd love to be a big reason for her team to back 4 points on.
She's a very good 200-foot center at both ends of the rink. And how even are these two players? It is very tight in the dot as we head over and take a look at the wingers here, Brandon, to see if it is just as close with VISU Gaming, Mookie Maestri, and Sage. And on the right-hand side, Burrito Kuningas and Linesto.
Yeah, and I think that the two left wingers have to be the story here. Both of them, the highest goal scorers in the league. Both of them are top 10 in the pro division in goal scored. That both of them are going to have to continue that goal scoring touch in this game. Mookie Maestri having 23, Burrito Kuningas having 28. So both of those guys have shown that they can contribute, but they've had some help along the way with them. Sage just had a jump in his point production from last season, and Linesto has been absolutely amazing as well at that right wing spot. So the wingers, we can say, kind of be the ones to often kind of sway the way goal scoring is going to go. Could very well be the same way here with both of these two sides today.
Well, let's see who's going to be holding down the blue line for each respective teams for VISU and Powerhouse on the left-hand side, Savanainen and Clawton, and then you have for Powerhouse, JVA and Ketunen.
Yeah, and I think the first thing, at least on the left side and the right side, it's got to be some of the hits. A lot of the body being thrown around. You're seeing 50 hits, 40 hits, 49 hits. These defensemen can get physical, and they will throw that body around, which can be so big in games like this, kind of sway the momentum one way or another. But somebody I think you have to give your flowers to a little bit. Clawton, the right defenseman for VISU Gaming, came up from a lower division, his first pro season, averaging about a point per game so far in his first campaign with VISU. He's been so impressive on the back end, a big reason for their improved success from last season over to this season. Do not be shocked if we call his name a few times, maybe even with a goal at some point here today.
As we'll look who's going to hold down the back end for those respective defensemen. Pedersen is going to be in between the pipes for VISU Gaming, and the man with the pads on for Powerhouse is Sweetsuki Mestari.
Yeah, and I kind of talked about Sweetsuki Mestari having an amazing season coming over from Dynastia last season, but, you know, his competition on the other side in Pedersen, very solid as well. Both these guys have that ideal stat line where you're over 80%, and they've shown that ability to be able to help their team win games, so it's no shock at all to see their shoulder tapped in what could very well so far be the biggest matchup of these two teams this season, and it's going to be so fun to see how these two goaltenders can impact this game. We see it time and time, Tegan, again, that a goalie making that one big save can impact and turn into a big goal on the other end. Can one of these two make that big save to make that game-changing play? We're going to have to find out, but it wouldn't shock me one bit.
It definitely wouldn't, as Brandon, in the esports scenario, we see a lot of big saves at one end and a big goal at the other end. And I have to ask you, Brandon, as we go over who is going to be the most offensive for each team, and who do you think is going to be pulling the trigger for the respective teams tonight?
Man, I think it has to be those two wingers that we talked about earlier. The left winger specifically, Mookie Mestari for VISU and for Powerhouse, Burrito Kuningas. Both of those guys have that goal-scoring touch. You know, Mookie Mestari, interestingly enough, last season for VISU had 53 points. That was 23 more than the second highest scoring player on his team. He's been consistently one of the more underrated wingers in the pro division, showing why, again, this season, either going to meet or surpass the numbers he had coming from last season. And Burrito Kuningas, like we said, Powerhouse making that jump from the light division. He has made a jump here as well in his play and has shown that he can score goals, not just with the best of them in a lower division, but the best of them in the pro division as well. 28 goals. That is top 10, top 5 actually in the league. So both these guys have that goal scoring touch. They're going to need it here in an important series.
And this is what we're going to be tuning into tonight. You're going to get VISU Gaming against Powerhouse, and later on we'll see Arctic and Reality Check. And Brandon talked a little bit about nice goals and maybe some jump deeks. Well, if you've been putting some jump deeks together or maybe some nice goals, guys, you can share your best or worst NHL 22 clips on Twitter, Instagram with the hashtag eHockeyMoments. Tag SportsGamerGG for some weekly chances to win some IQ fuel there, Brandon.
Yeah, and it's always so fun to kind of see how other players have been doing throughout the year, and some of the fun plays, some of the rough plays, some of the funny plays even. You know, you have something kind of entertaining that may have not led to a goal, but just gave a few laughs in the old party chat, and always fun to see those as well. So it's going to be interesting to see how those e-hockey moments come about, and, you know, it's always kind of interesting to see what happens around that, and the chance to win yourself something nice in the process as well.
You know, maybe fuel up for that next hilarious moment or that next big goal, Brandon. You never know, but we're expecting to see some big goals from VISU and Powerhouse tonight. It is going to be very tight in the dot there with Karki going against the I team. We want to thank our amazing sponsors here at SportsGamerGG at the ECL Pro with Kovalan Lakritzi and ST Hockey here in Wilhelm. And speaking of Wilhelm, we've got something to promo here as well, Brandon.
Yeah, how about the Wilhelm E-Hockey Tour currently getting underway? You can go 2s, you can go 3s, you can go 4s, and anybody from ECL Light on down, or if you're not even in ECL, you can participate in this amazing tournament, a 10,000 euro prize pool. Highly recommend if you have a group of 2 to 4 players, you want to take part in this, you're in the light division or lower or not competing in ECL, highly recommend you participate in that. A great tournament that everyone at Wilhelm and here at Sports Gamer GG are running.
As we get ourselves underway, VISU Gaming against Powerhouse. We are watching from VISU's. We get your respective lineups in the bottom left and right hand corner of your screen. VISU in the dark jerseys, Powerhouse in the light. As I'll have to double check that. All right, as Clotton moves that one over, Brandon, and the puck's going to be moved around here.
VISU trying to find something here in the offensive zone. Two teams that are looking to separate themselves in the standings, as me and Tegan mentioned, tied in points, 5th and 6th in the standings respectively. So a huge match for both of these teams. That first goal could play a big role here. It's going to be interesting to see how that may be affected, if possibly one of these two teams can get it here early as Powerhouse looks to move it up. Find a way in the offensive zone. That's Lenesto with it, turns it over, and it'll be VISU Gaming with it, trying to break it out past their own zone.
Let's remind you, we are watching, actually, he said it's my mistake, we are watching from Powerhouse's side here, Brandon. It is VISU Gaming who comes down with the puck now.
Dump down. Powerhouse will give chase to it and try to set up in the offensive zone. Dump down low. Try to get a shot on that with a wraparound, it looked like, but does not go. And Clauden will pick that up and start the breakout out for VISU. Here's a chance here potentially, but nice break up there in the neutral zone. And, you know, Tegan, it's interesting. Both these teams, you can tell how much this game means because both of them not looking to make that first mistake. Very conservative.
So Powerhouse in the dark jerseys. We have VISU coming up in the light jerseys. Because that one's going to be poked off. Mookie Maestri bringing that one in, goes over the left-hand side. That one's going to be regrouped here by VISU. And it's going to be Clotton who starts out with the puck in the breakout. He dumps that one in. Mookie Maestri trying to get there first. He can't. Lenisto. And that one's going to be moved ahead, shot on. And good puck moving here is that one is Katunen who came up there, Brandon.
Yeah, you can see Katunen get up in that play a little bit. We talked about how the defense could maybe make that impact. We'll see maybe if he does. We saw already Katunen's not necessarily unwilling to move up in that offensive play to help his team get something.
Puck on the left-hand side. Big body. Clotton behind the net. He tries to move that one through the middle. Here's JVA with it. Goes over to the left-hand side. That puck's brought in. It's offside. All right, puck in the neutral zone. Powerhouse, it's going to be the I team going against Karki on the draw. That one's going to be tied up, brought in by Burrito Kuningas, but it's taken away, and here's Karki. Puck's brought in now by VISU. VISU behind the net, Karki. As they wrap that one all the way down. And puck's brought in here by Sage. Sage looks across. And it's picked back up at the point by Clotton. Clotton moves that one down low. Good puck movement here by VISU as they wrap this one around the outside. Try to go through the middle, but too many bodies there for Powerhouse. And Lenisto goes up the right-hand side. Looks into the middle, and they try to slide that one through, but great job there by Pettersson to hold his ground. Here's Karki. Clotton back to Karki. Savanainen. Karki going down the right-hand side. What a saucer pass into the middle, and that shot is going to be saved there by Sweet Suki Maestri. Clotton with it now. Clotton moved out front. Over to the right-hand side. Puck is held in by VISU. Sage over to Clotton. Clotton activating as JVA holds onto it for Powerhouse. And that takes us to the end of the first period.
Yeah, and an interesting first period there. We kind of saw a bit of a back and forth. Not too many high danger chances, but like I was kind of saying there at the beginning, both of these teams know how much this game means, and you don't want to make that mistake. And, you know, Tegan, we're kind of seeing that feel of almost like an overtime. Both of them trying to kind of play that possession game, not looking to make those mistakes and trying to just keep everything in front of them. Going to be interesting of when or how one of these two can break things open, but so far, very slow pace. You can tell both of these two sides don't want to give any inches.
Yeah, they definitely don't. And not a lot of shots in this game either, Brandon.
Yeah, not at all. Just 3 between the two teams, but VISU controlling that possession a little bit more. 2:14 in time on attack compared to just 54 seconds for Powerhouse HC. So, like we said, neither of these teams want to give an inch. We're kind of seeing that through the first period, a slower pace, but a lot of great defense where neither side is really allowing much to be happening.
All right, as we get back into this period number 2, very even game. These teams that Powerhouse in 6th place, VISU Gaming in 5th place. This puck's going to be brought up by Katunin. Nice move as he comes into the zone for Powerhouse to get that one in deep. But there's Clawton getting in the way. Brandon talked about him as the I team tries to bring it out front. And there's Clawton again, Brandon, doing a very good job in the defensive zone.
Yeah, Clawton was a huge acquisition this season for VISU Gaming, and he's shown why. I'm not sure if there's Rookie of the Year here in the Pro Division, but if there is, he could very well be a candidate for the way he's been playing.
There's Katunin. Tried to get that one up the right-hand side. Clawton moves that one down low. VISU Gaming wrapping that one around the outside. There's Mookie Meistery. Good pass out front, but what a play by Katunin to get in the way for Powerhouse. Here's the I team. He brings that one up, and it's offside.
And, you know, kind of a little bit of the same from the first period that we've seen from VISU. They're able to get into the offensive zone. They work it around a little bit, but not a lot of shots on net so far. Kind of just maintaining that cycle, maybe looking for that one really high-quality chance, but you kind of wonder maybe when they start to favor the shots on net a little bit more and trying to get that cycle going. Just 2 on net in that first period, as you mentioned.
Right-hand side, Katunin. Up to Lanisto. He has it poke checked off his stick. Clawton in the corner. He draws a penalty there, and Powerhouse is going to be heading to the box.
Yeah, this is a big chance here for VISU to maybe get that first score that we talked about. And obviously, both of these teams, they've been amazing on the penalty kill this season. About 83% for Powerhouse HC on the PK this season. That's about middle of the pack, but nevertheless, it's been consistent. So it's going to be interesting to see if VISU can maybe find a way to get things going on that power play.
So big power play starting here for VISU, looking to get on the board as we're in the second period here with a 0-0 hockey game. Savanainen drops that one down low. It's held on there by Suki. Oh, wow. Sweet Suki Meister. He plays that one. Lanisto, he can't get it all the way out. Savanainen holds it in. Savanainen over to his partner, Clawton. They play catcher on the outside. Clawton with a shot on, as that's very quick puck movement here, Brandon, on the power play. Clawton moves that one out front. JVA putting his body in dangerous territory to block that shot, but Clawton holds it into the line. Here's VISU as they slowly move that one around the outside. Savanainen tries to bring it in. He's poke checked off by Katunin. There's Kartiki with it for VISU behind the net. Back out to Clawton. Good power play puck moving here, but a poke check by JVA draws it to the corner. And Linesto tries to get it out. He can't. Power play is all wrapped up. Nothing for VISU yet, but good puck movement in the offensive zone. Linesto trying to bring that one out. Met by Kartiki. She gets that one down low. Pass back out front and a toe save. And another big save by Sweet Suki Maestri. Oh, the saves are sweet, Brandon.
So sweet. We talked about how big saves can make an impact, and there's another one here.
As Tedderson makes a huge save, teamed up with Clawton down there, and the puck is held on.
Well, we talked about those big saves being big, as I was mentioning, and we've seen now 2 from both goalies here in the stages of the second period. As VISU, like we said, getting that cycle going, but not a lot of shots on net. But when they got them, they were fast and furious. Some big saves there from Suki Maestri there.
Puck back to the point here. JVA sets up for Powerhouse. Walks the line, looks back door. Great pick off there by Savanainen, who sends that one ahead. Here's Mookie Maestri looking out front, back door. He couldn't get that one across the stage. Puck on the left-hand side here. Good passing there by VISU. And they're really getting the puck movement working well and getting pucks on net there in the offensive zone.
Yeah, it's a beautiful looking cycle. I know we've kind of said that they haven't gotten the shots on net, but when you're able to kind of create that space and move the puck as quickly and efficiently as VISU have been able to, sooner or later you're going to get that one high-quality chance that you hope you can take advantage of. VISU looking to do that here.
It's Linesto. Linesto dumps that one all the way down and around. Good pickup there by VISU, though, not letting Powerhouse getting anything going as Sage brings that puck up and hits Mookie Maestri. Over to Savanainen. Good pass back down low in front to Sage, and the shot on from the high slot is robbed by Sweet Suki Maestri.
That's another big save from Suitsuki Mystery, as we kind of talked about. He had a few big saves there at the end after that power play. Well, that's another one right there. But VISU Gaming starting to apply the pressure a little bit and things starting to ramp up. Powerhouse is going to have to try to get out of their zone and get off their heels a little bit.
Goalies with just under 2.3 goals against average. Why this game is so tight. As Linesto wraps that one around to the point to JVA. Back down low to Burrito Kuningas. As I'm a big fan of that name being King Lime, as that puck gets poked off into the middle. Karki gets it to the corner to Sage. Back to Clot, and D to D, it's loose in front and picked up by JVA for Powerhouse. As it's given away to Sage, Karki puts that one on. It's blocked by the I-team. Here's Linesto. Linesto still with it, gets it over to JVA. Bounce pass up the boards, but that one's moved in offside.
Yeah, you know, we may not have seen a score, but after what was a bit of a slower first period, we're seeing a high-action second period from both these two teams. VISU kind of being more the aggressors so far, but Powerhouse, they're a team that can respond in an instant. A chance for them to here as they try to get into the offensive zone.
JVA bringing the puck in through the middle to the I-team. Good pickup shot is on there by Burrito Kuningas, but robbed by Pedersen.
Yeah, and Pedersen, he's had a few solid saves himself, and, you know, it's kind of interesting. We talked about this game and the series being so close. Well, so far, there's not much separating these two sides for the first 40 minutes either. It's going to be really interesting to see if maybe this is going to be one of those games where the first goal could very well be the goal that decides this thing, because right now, like we said, neither of these two sides giving an inch.
These teams right beside each other in the standings, Brandon, and it's showing why, as they are two very even teams, as Powerhouse gets that one up the right-hand side. Linesto trying to force that one down low. Picked up by Claude, and you said he was very good, Brandon. He's definitely showed that as Linesto turns that one over and gets Powerhouse going in the offensive zone. Cut back door, what a pass, it slides through, and Claughton pulls it off the goal line, as I would love to get another look at that. What a play!
How about some credit to Pedersen there? If I'm correct, he realized that puck was really close to rolling its way in past him, but he slid over to his right post to avoid that going past his pad, kept it out, and then Clauden finishing the job, as you mentioned there, getting that puck away, cleaning the garbage out, and clearing it to keep this at a 0-0 game at the end of the period. And Tegan, your wish has been granted. We're going to get another look there at that last play.
They must be listening, as my wish is their command, as that one shot on, trickling through the goaltender there, and Claughton. What a play by the fresh ECL Pro rookie, as he pulls that one off the line.
And Tegan, we are talking inches from this being a 1-0 game. That is what they mean when they say this can be a game of inches. That very well was a play that we're going to have to bookmark if VISU finds a way to find the opening goal here.
Maybe even millimeters as we start period number 3. VISU Gaming against Powerhouse HC is Powerhouse in black, VISU in white, the respective lineups in the bottom left and right hand corner of your screen. This is Sports Gamer GG, the ECL Pro Division. This puck on the left hand side, Claughton, the man who stole it off the goal line, tries to break that one out for VISU. They can't get it through. This Powerhouse Gaming team is both very good in the neutral zone. Sage pulls that one away and gets it ahead to Mookie Maestri. Mookie Maestri back to Savanainen. Savanainen give and go with Mookie Maestri. Back down low to Kargi out front, and what a save by Sweet Suki Mestri. And the puck's down low now by Burrito Kuningas to Linesto, and a pad save by Pedersen as Furious rushes either way.
Yeah, and we're starting to see that offensive momentum kind of sway a little bit more towards Powerhouse. Now, it felt like VISU kind of had things going to maybe give themselves the first goal. They weren't able to do that. Now, all of a sudden, they're hemmed in their own zone a little bit. Powerhouse getting some really tight chances here the last couple of tries.
Savanainen gets that one ahead to Mookie Maestri. Good move. He's all alone. Coming through. He's tripped up. And I think we're going to see the most exciting play in hockey.
That's right, Tegan. We called plenty of these just a few days ago. We're going to get one here in the ECL Pro Division. A penalty shot and a critical one here for VISU Gaming and Mookie Maestri.
Mookie Maestri is going to go all alone with Sweet Suki Mestri. Mookie Maestri coming in, holding on the forehand, and what a play! Oh, it's oh so sweet! Suki Mestri with the diving poke check.
That's a great play there. You love to see when goaltenders can get aggressive and it works out. He went really high up, almost at the face-off hash marks there to get that flying poke check. Not sure you ever really expect that there as a forward. A nice play there from Sweet Suki Mestri to keep us in a tie game.
Key play by the goaltenders. He comes all the way down, and it counts for a goal at the other end. Powerhouse Burrito Kuningas opens the scoring, and it's a 1-0 game.
You know, Tegan, we kind of talked about how the left wingers for these two sides can impact this game. We just saw it right there. Mookie Mestri had that penalty shot, wasn't able to convert. Powerhouse going on the other end after a big save, and Burrito Kuningas capitalizes on his chance to get the first score of the game for his team. That is an absolutely monumental play for Powerhouse HC, and now VISU Gaming, despite all the time on attack, down in this game, going to have to find a way to find their first goal to tie it up.
Now, Brandon, let's talk about this briefly here. It's almost a script, isn't it? I wanted to briefly stop myself there in case Burrito Kuningas went and got his second of the game, but it's almost a script where you see a big save at one end and a big goal at the other.
Yeah, it's almost predictable that it's going to happen, but it's not often that you see it after penalty shots. VISU try to maybe respond here with a chance.
Here's Claughton. Gets that back to Savanainen. Tried to move that through the middle. It was picked off by the I team. They just dumped that one out, and VISU Gaming has about 11 and a half minutes to get one here. Puck's brought in by Karaki. Karaki sauces that one out front, and she's definitely put the sauce on today, hitting some very nice passes through the middle. There's JVA. Back to Katunen. It finds its way to JVA and up to the I team, but great defense again by Claughton. He moves that one ahead to Sage, and all alone, Mookie Meister, he scores with a toe drag top crease and goes bar down.
Well, Mookie Meister said, I might have not taken advantage of that penalty shot, but I'm going to take advantage of this breakaway. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. A beautiful move on that toe drag. Not much you can do there if you were Suitsuki Meister. And now all of a sudden, like everything it seems like with these two this season, they cannot be separated. We're right back where we started, a tie game, and with just halfway up to this period to go as well.
Just like that, Brandon, we're back to square one. 9 minutes to go. As Katunen moves that one over to JVA. VISU is going to look to build on this momentum as they got the last goal. Savanainen brings that one up. Good pass to Mookie Meister in the middle of the Karaki. JVA there, but what a play by Sage as he just fired that one wide. Claughton brings that down along the hash marks and wraps it around to Mookie Meister. Looking for the wraparound. Couldn't connect. It's back to Claughton. Good puck moving here by VISU. As it's on the stick of Karaki back door, but the I team is in the middle playing great center as he pulled that one out. Here's Mookie Meister bringing it up the boards. Decides to go back to Savanainen through the breakout to Karaki left-hand side to Sage. Sage bounces one off of the boards. It ends up back down in Powerhouse territory. And here goes the I team, dumping that one in right-hand side, hoping the Nesto can get there first, but it is going to be Savanainen, but it's picked up here by Burrito Kuningas down to Lenesto, and what a save by Pettersson.
Pettersson, he's had to be sharp this period as Powerhouse has gotten more going for themselves offensively. Now is another example of that there. Not just having to get there for the initial shot, but also having to move in position from where that puck bounced out. But Powerhouse a chance maybe to get that back there from where they moved to lead.
Out front is going to be clapped on. It's back to Katunen. Over to Burrito Kuningas. Back to JVA at the point for Powerhouse. They look into the middle, but a great poke check there by Mookie Meister. He jars it loose, and here comes Karaki. Patiently waiting, it goes to Claughton, up to Sage, over to Mookie Meister. Good puck moving across as they almost hit. Back door was VISU Gaming to get a shot on anyways, Brandon, but it didn't connect. Puck in the middle is going to be fired on high and wide as Karaki has it in the corner. Back to Claughton. Claughton, good pass down low to Mookie Meister. He backs out, goes down low to Karaki. She wraps that around. Nobody at the point, though, and VISU Gaming is going to have to start at their own end.
No, this is a big 46 seconds here. We talked about the standings being so big. Both of these teams would collect the point if things stand this way, so don't be shocked if VISU gets aggressive.
Sage throws that one through the middle. JVA battling for it behind the net. Here's VISU Gaming. Gets Sage, picked it up. Good forecheck there, but it is going to be brought up by Powerhouse. Here's JVA activating. Goes over to the left-hand side and slides all the way through, and Pettersson had to kick that one aside. Savanainen trying to move that one ahead. Lenesto picks it up for Powerhouse. Not much time left. 16 seconds. There's a good pickup by Karaki at the line. Good trap by VISU Gaming. Under 10 to go, and the poke check could cause some trouble. Lenesto to Kuningas. What a blocker saved by the I team as he was absolutely robbed from the hash marks.
I believe that was off the blocker and off the post for Powerhouse, and that would have been a gigantic goal for the standings. I just mentioned both of these teams would collect the point if the score stayed that way. That goal would have been huge for Powerhouse. Not only would they have gotten 2 points, but they would have moved ahead of VISU by denying them of any. Now they're going to have to try to do so in overtime, and even if they do win, still just 1 point would separate these two sides. So Tegan, like we said, little separate these two. Nothing but the same here in our first of 4 games. We're going to get extra hockey. What a treat this has been.
What exciting hockey we have got at the end of the periods too, Brandon. Usually things are starting to slow down. We have Clotton pull a goal off the goal line. And how about that blocker save there by Pedersen to keep VISU Gaming into overtime and at least grab them that extra point if this game does not go their way.
Yeah, and Pedersen's been amazing. Both of these two goaltenders have, and this kind of feels like one of these games. I wouldn't be shocked if maybe we see a long overtime one or even a second overtime, but we're going to have to wait and see as this is a big second point for both of these teams to try to grab.
Ernesto throws that one into the left-hand corner. Clotton over to Savanainen to Karaki. As you see your respective lineups in the bottom left-hand and right-hand corner of your screen, it is overtime hockey here in the ECL Pro at Sports Gamer GG. As the puck's in front, big save, and the second shot goes off his own players. Mookie Maestri blocked Sage's shot, Brandon, which was a for sure goal.
Yeah, and it looked like even he might have had a clean look there off of the puck pickup from where he blocked that shot, but he wasn't able to get the puck on that quickly enough, so that was a chance for VISU Gaming miss, but they're going to have another opportunity with the offensive faceoff. It'll be a big faceoff win for either of these two sides to get.
This game is a forward's nightmare. You see the I team winning the faceoff battle 11-7 now after that one gets won. As the puck's in front, Mookie Maestri fires it after a turnover, and it's all over here in overtime. It is Mookie Maestri getting the overtime goal for VISU Gaming.
It's crazy how that goes, Tegan. You look up for a second, and all of a sudden you're hearing you call a VISU Gaming game-winning goal in an unfortunate way for Powerhouse to end it after they had played so well off of the turnover in their own zone, not able to get out of their own zone in those turnovers. So dangerous. It can be so costly. We see why right there it led to an instant chance for VISU Gaming, and Mookie Maestri, the leading goal scorer for this team, capitalized on it, and VISU Gaming back a huge second point for the standings, and now go in the game too, probably feeling pretty good about where they sit.
I would think so, Brandon, and a great job for Powerhouse to pick up a point as VISU Gaming goes ahead, but Powerhouse still able to grab one, Brandon, as the chat even thought it was going to be close, as they said VISU would win 56% to 44. Everything in this game, except for maybe the time on attack, was basically neck and neck.
Yeah, just the time on attack and the hits, and you know, it's interesting. VISU, you could argue that they could have had a few more shots on net with all of that time on attack they had. They kind of value that possession game more than maybe giving themselves a few more opportunities, but it worked enough for them to get this win, and it's a big win for them, like we said, to be able to back that second point, to give themselves a small amount of breathing room over Powerhouse HC, but nevertheless, that breathing room is just 1 point. Powerhouse HC could very well come into game 2, play lights out, and still pass VISU Gaming in the standings, so the job not done for either of these two teams. Both of them grabbed a few points in the standings, have to be happy with that, and they have to turn your attention here in this next game.
And now this next game becomes pretty massive in implications for Powerhouse here, doesn't it, Brandon?
Yeah, obviously, the last thing you want to do is go 1 out of 4 points. So at the very least, you hope that you can at least bag another point yet again. If you get 2 out of 4, that's salvaging something. Obviously, they will hope to be able to get 3 out of 4. And we kind of talked about it. Powerhouse HC, a team that might have not had great expectations coming into the season, coming up from the light division. They've proved a lot of people wrong. They really would love to make it into the playoffs. Like we said, that would beat a lot of the expectations that some have for them coming in. Beating teams that are in the thick of the playoff race, so important to being able to do that. They have a chance to do so here. They grab the point in game 1. We'll see if they can grab 1 or maybe even 2 more points here in game 2 against a VISU Gaming team that's looked pretty strong here through the first 60 minutes plus.
Well, everybody, speaking of grabbing things, why don't you go grab a drink, grab something, don't leave, and tune in as we get a quick word from our sponsor. Welcome back, everybody. Sports Gamer GG ECL Pro Tuesdays with myself, Tegan It's King Line Blair, and the best analyst in the game, Brandon B. Major Bigsby. And Brandon, what a first game we got there. A goaltending battle. Clotton, like you said, you predicted it. He was going to be a menace out there. He definitely was, saving goals at one end and helping VISU get ahead of Powerhouse 2-1 in that game.
Yeah, Clauden and Pedersen were both amazing. And, it's so fun watching games like this that have these big implications. And you see certain guys kind of step up. You'll see a name or two called a little bit more in others. But, all these guys have stepped up so big. You saw Mugi Maestri get both goals. Like you mentioned, Clauden with a lot of big plays on both ends. You saw Karki on the end of a few plays that were some pretty good chances for VISU game, and it just didn't find their way in the net. While for Powerhouse, Rio Kuning is just as good as advertised. Lenesto had a few plays on that, and Katunen with a couple of nice defensive plays on the back end as well. So many players stepping up for both these two sides in what is a huge series for their playoff chances. It's so fun to see. You never know what's going to happen next. This game 2, I think, could be just as, if not even more entertaining than what we saw there in game 1.
Brandon, out of the 21 shots that were taken in that hockey game, at 12 for VISU, 9 for Powerhouse, I believe every save was a big one. The goaltenders in this matchup were phenomenal.
Yeah, and we kind of talked about, could the goalies maybe be the star of the show in this matchup, and through the first game, they were. You saw Pedersen with some huge saves for VISU, while Suzuki Maestri, he had a breakaway save on that penalty shot, and then he had multiple big saves that stopped some pretty clear-cut chances, it looked like, for VISU Gaming. So the goaltending just as good as advertised. And, it's so interesting with series like this because, like we said, that big save can lead to that big goal on the other end. We already saw that once or twice there in that game 1. So it wouldn't shock me to see it again in game 2, a pivotal game 2 for both these two. And like you mentioned, Tegan, maybe even just a little bit bigger for Powerhouse after dropping that first game in OT.
Yeah, thankfully, only 1 point splitting the difference for Powerhouse, as this was a 4-point swing difference, as Powerhouse in 6th place, VISU in 5th place, but both with the same amount of points. So this is a massive game for Powerhouse, and I think they'll look right from the back end from Sweet Suki Maestri out.
Yeah, and Sweet Suki Maestri, amazing. And, it's funny how many big saves and big moments he's had. But, I know there's some viewers in the chat that have some big moments as well. And there's a way for you to maybe share your best or worst NHL 22 clips on Twitter or Instagram with the hashtag eHockeyMoments and tagging SportsGamerGG for a weekly chance to win yourself some cans of IQ Fuel. And Tegan, I know you play a little bit. I know you've had some sweet moments. Maybe you can win yourself a few of those as well.
I think it's more funny moments on my end, and you guys can win with that as well. This is everything from sweet, funny, maybe just some laughs in the party that had somebody going over the bench, who knows. But make sure you get in and get your chance to win some IQ Fuel. And, there's nothing better than getting some free stuff, right, Brandon?
Yeah, free stuff and a chance to show out your plays as well. And, maybe a few plays will show from our Wilhelm E Hockey Tour team. And you can kind of tell us a little bit more about that in the amazing tournament we have going on here at Sports Gamer.
Yeah, Brandon, this is a great tournament. It's going to be 2s, 3s, 4s, everything. Why don't you let them know who it's going to be and what the prize pool is?
Yeah, you mentioned it, 2s, 3s, and 4s. Any players from the light division on down, or if you do not currently participate in the ECL, it's a 10,000 euro prize pool in order to win that. It's going to be so fun to see who's going to be able to get that. So if you have 2, 3, or 4 friends looking to play, maybe win a little bit of currency as well, make sure you go to sportsgamer.gg and sign up for the Wilhelm Iyaki Tour. I'm sure you won't regret it.
First, we have the ECL Pro Game 2 of our 4-game set tonight, but only 2 from Powerhouse and VISU, as VISU came out and won the first one in overtime. As we now have Powerhouse in the white jerseys, VISU in the dark jerseys, as Powerhouse comes out quick. Here's Kartki. Kartki on the left-hand side. Good job by her to bring it out, and she just dumps that one in. VISU behind the net. Katunen walks that one up the right-hand side. Lenesto, good pass over to the left, but this trap by VISU is strong. Kartki back over to stage. Drop back, Clotton, DDD. Savanainen fires, and that one's going to be blocked by Lenesto. Savanainen with another shot and a big save by Sweet Suki Maestri. Good poke check there on the forecheck, and this forecheck is amazing here by VISU. They want to get in and get a goal early as we get a face-off here in Powerhouse territory to the left of Sweet Suki Maestri. And that one is going to be tied up. Good job by Karki. She gets it back to Savanainen, and the shot on, and sweet Suki Mestri again with a big save. Mookie Mestri as well with a wraparound and a big save. As JVA brings that one out for Powerhouse, they just reset that one. Katunen, he fires that one in on the dump and chase. First to the puck is a big chop by VISU, and a huge hit there by JVA, and he picks that puck up on the left-hand side. Spin passes back to his partner Katunen, who goes over to the right. Puck is going to be fought for. Mookie Meister, he gets that one back to Savanainen, who rings that one around, and VISU is going to slow things down through Claughton. Passes up to Sage. Sage has it poke checked off, and here goes Burrito Kuningas all alone. He scores! What a play by Burrito Kuningas with the individual effort, poke checking that one at the point, taking off on a breakaway, and getting the score opened early for Powerhouse, and that's exactly what they need, and a breakaway. It couldn't be anything better as we see Pettersson come out with the dive. He tried that in game number 1 and it was successful. But here in game number 2, it's going to be a big goal and the score is open for Powerhouse. That face-off is going to be won. Claughton back to Savanainen to Kartiki. Claughton trying to hold that in at the point, but the goal scorer, Burrito Kuningas, gets that one ahead, and he is going to forecheck hard here to try and keep the momentum going for Powerhouse. Here's Claughton breaking the puck out through Kartiki. Kartiki, great pass to Sage. Sage still holding onto it, battling hard against JVA. But Sage comes out with it. Claughton tried to force that one into the middle. Too many Powerhouse bodies. And here's Claughton with it behind the net. Good play by Claughton as he is in the right place at the right time to pick off that puck in front. Kartiki backdoor to Mookie Meisteri, and he couldn't thread, or she couldn't thread the needle through. That one's going to be poke checked off by Linesto. Up the left-hand side, Burrito Kuningas. Good draw pass, JVA in front, and what a pass to the I-team! And he scores blocker side and goes bar down, and that was an absolutely gorgeous play by Powerhouse, and they continue to build on this momentum. And how about this tic-tac-toe play into the middle? Close quarters activated as right in the high slot with that shot is a gorgeous one, and Powerhouse goes up 2-0 here in the ECL Pro, game number 2 of your evening between these two teams. And Powerhouse wants that win as they would go ahead by a point if they win this game in regulation. Left-hand side, Burrito Kuningas trying to dangle through. He can't get through Sage. Sage picks that puck up and dumps that one in. It's going to go off a defender's skate, so no icing on the play. There's Chad on the side of VISU again for this game. 59-41, Chad. We will see if you were right. That puck is going to be brought down by Mookie Meisteri. Sage drops that one back to the point to Savanainen. Savanainen, what a pass out front of Mookie Meisteri. VISU trying to come back. Claughton looks to feed that one through. Good play by the I-team as he's playing slot to slot here in this big game. Puck gets wrapped around. It's up to Linesto. Here's Claughton. Goes back to Karki, back to Claughton, and VISU looks to break out and try and get one before the period ends as Powerhouse is up 2-0. Here's Claughton. Claughton, nice moves, trying to get that one through, but it's going to turn into a 3-on-2 the other way as the puck's brought in by Linesto. Back to the point. Shot is on, and how did that one get through by JVA? What a save by Pettersson. Not sure how he saw that one as it went through absolutely everybody on the ice, but a great pad save.
Yeah, it's a huge pass save there from Pettersson. He might have to make another one with 3.2. There's a chance here to Powerhouse maybe get another shot on.
Keep Meisteri all the way down, and that's going to do it here for period number 1.
And period number 1, I think Powerhouse plenty happy with 2 goals, more than they had in all of game 1, and they see themselves through the first 20 minutes with a nice 2-goal cushion going into the second. And you know, Tegan, it's so interesting because we talked about how these teams have been so even throughout the series so far, and how big is it really for Powerhouse just to be able to kind of get that early lead going, and now maybe not necessarily sit back a little bit, but just know that they have that cushion to kind of lead in front of, and that's all despite VISU Gaming getting a fair amount of chances on their own end.
Yeah, these goals were absolutely gorgeous. One is going to be a breakaway goal with just a nice little self-sauce individual play by Burrito Kuningas, and he gets down one-on-one. And this passing play here by Powerhouse, this is a statement tic-tac-toe goal that finds the I team in the slot, and he makes no mistake and goes bar down.
Yeah, and that's something the Powerhouse has really done a good job of this season. It's being able to kind of translate the goal scoring that they saw from the light division into the pro division. They averaged 2.77 goals per game last season, and in a lower division, they're about the same, or actually a higher division this season, they're about the same, 2.75. So they found a way to translate that scoring that had them have so much success last season in light. They're seeing it here in the pro division as well. It's a great example of it with those 2 goals. And now, the question is, can they hold on to it with VISU putting that pressure on just a little bit?
Period number 2 here at Sports Gamer GG. Powerhouse HC going against VISU Gaming. You see your respective lineups in the bottom left and right hand corner of your screen. As Powerhouse is up 2-0 here as they go offside once again.
And Powerhouse, how big would a third goal be for them to really try to increase that lead a little bit over VISU? Well, for VISU, if they get a goal, they can find a way to cut the deficit in half and make it a 1-goal game. So the next goal, really important for both of these 2 sides. I wouldn't be shocked if VISU Gaming maybe gets a little bit more aggressive trying to make sure that they get it.
Kuningas tries to throw that one in front. It's going to be picked off, though, by VISU. And here goes Mookie Maestri through Clotten over to Sage. Good poke check by the defensive Powerhouse, and it might give him an odd man rush here. Burrito Kuningas, he fires on Pedersen. A great save.
Yeah, and you might have allowed those 2 first period goals, but Pedersen has been great so far. He was amazing in game 1. He's been pretty solid here in game 2. He's going to have to be pretty much near perfect, though, from here on out. Being down by 2 goals, can't afford to let up another one, as he mentioned.
Face off on the left-hand side. Clotten picks that puck off, goes into the middle. Karki's poke check by the I team, left-hand side. Laniso back to the I team. It doesn't get through. What defense there. And the puck goes up to Clotten. He's going to draw one, and this could help VISU. It's a great defensive play at one end, a draw penalty in the neutral zone. They're going to go to the power play in the offensive zone.
Yeah, maybe this could be the turn that VISU Gaming needed, drawing that penalty. Clauden, who we've seen all over the ice on both ends, making a good play there offensively, to maybe give his team a power play that they can use to spark something. They've had some good offensive momentum, but just have not been able to find a way to put the puck in the net. Maybe being 5-on-4 can help them do that.
Face off here to the left of Sweetsuki Mesteri, as we haven't heard a lot from him in this game. Here's Clotten to Savanainen. What a pass! And there it is, and Karki with the rebound in front. She gets it and buries the garbage.
We talk about this all the time, Tegan, being at the right place at the right time, and Karki turning the ignition on and revving things up a little bit for VISU Gaming. You see that rebound perfectly placed in traffic, and despite all of that, her stick right where the puck was, and she was able to put that in. Nothing that Sweetsu Maestri could do right there, and all of a sudden, VISU Gaming doing exactly what they needed to do, cutting that deficit in half to a 1-goal game.
Right place at the right time, cleaning up the trash in front. That's a big rebound goal. As VISU looks to build on that, it's a 2-1 game with 15 minutes to go here in the second period. Powerhouse leading. Here's Linesto. Throws that one down low. Powerhouse going to try and answer here. A shot goes off the side of the net. But a good job by Linesto to hold that one in. Back to Katunin, but he brings that one over the line, and it's going to be offside.
Yeah, you saw Powerhouse. They didn't waste any time. They were trying to get that goal right back. They won the offense. They won the neutral zone faceoff, got right into the offensive zone, and got to work. Just a better job there from VISU Gaming, locking things in, not letting them get any chances.
There's Clotten. That faceoff is going to be won by VISU, but the I team, great job. But look at the defense there by Sage to jar that puck loose. VISU wants that puck right now. Here's Karki, left-hand side to Sage. Sage bumped off of the puck. And a good job by JV8 for Powerhouse to run that one around D to D. It finds its way back to him and up the left-hand side. Burrito Kungingas has it poked off his stick by Sage. He's going to try and get it back. He can't. It's Clotten, but a great forward check. Finds the puck to Linesto. Back out front, it's loose, and 2 huge saves by Pedersen keeps it a 2-1 game.
It was a great set play there from Powerhouse, too. They got a great pass there right in front of Pedersen, but he read it so well. He was able to get stick and pad on that one and make that save. But like you said, Tegan, made a nice second save there. A sharp couple of plays there from the goaltender in Pedersen.
Savanainen goes through the middle, Clotten up the left-hand side to Sage. And that's a good breakout, but they can't get over the line from the trap from Powerhouse. And it's just the same at the other end as we're going to go back the other way for VISU Gaming. Sage into the middle of the car key, but on the other side of the ice was Mookie Maestri, a step offside.
Yeah, you know, now Tegan, we're halfway through this game, 9:40 to go in the second period, and how big does that goal feel now if you're VISU Gaming? You kind of take some of that pressure off from trying to have to rush things a little bit with you being able to cut that lead down to 1, and now there's a chance for them to get in the offensive zone here. As their team that we've seen all series long, they've really done a good job of dominating that possession.
Yeah, it's been a lot of neutral zone hockey here, Brandon, as Claughton moves that one to his partner Savanainen up the left-hand side, Sage to Karki. Karki gets hit hard off of the puck, but it's still on VISU's stick. Backdoor, what a saucer pass, and Claughton hit the side of the net as that was a gorgeous feed backdoor by Sage. Sage goes back to Savanainen, and he rips that one off, and it's steered away there by Sweet Suki Mesteri, and Powerhouse is going to look to slow things down after that gorgeous saucer pass backdoor. It was almost like some Kovalon Lakritsi. As that one goes behind the goal line. VISU kicks that one over to the left-hand side. Good pass back to Karki. Karki behind the net to Mookie Maestri. Mookie Maestri brings that one out looking backdoor, but a poke check by the I-team. He's done a great job in the slot there, Brandon.
Yeah, an amazing job in the slot. And it's so big, but especially with VISU trying to kind of try that pass through the middle so many times. But now Powerhouse, great defense, turning into potential great offense there.
It's Karki between the legs, trying to go past the defenseman, loses that one, and it almost an Omaha play is going to be stolen by Claughton, but Powerhouse doing a great job at the line. Here's Linesto. He tried to go between the legs. Is maybe a little bit of fancy coming out here. As that one is shot on from the point from Katunen and it goes off the body of Linesto. But he gets it back and feeds it out front to the I-team. And he makes no mistake getting his second of the game.
How about that play from Powerhouse? The puck was kind of just behind the net on the left side, and then all of a sudden, it turned into a pass right in front for the I-team, who, despite all of the traffic smothered by 2 VISU defenders, the puck just found right where it needed to on his stick, and the I-team put that one in. That's a huge goal for Powerhouse with just a few minutes left. Now they're right back where they were with a 2-goal lead.
Powerhouse putting that comfortable insurance marker on the line, and Claughton dumps that one in for VISU. Here's Linesto. Linesto up the right-hand side, looking for a saucer pass, but that one's picked off by Claughton, as that could have been a great break the other way for Powerhouse once again. The I-team trying to bank that one in, but Claughton again with a great defensive play. He's bumped off of the puck, though, trying to get into the zone, and that's kind of been VISU Gaming's kryptonite in this game, Brandon, is they haven't really been able to get into the Powerhouse territory as they get it out front again to the I-team, and that's a hat trick for him.
You saw that one weakness that you were just mentioning. VISU not able to break into the offensive zone. Powerhouse locking down that blue line and turning it into offensive opportunities. And right then, they capitalized on it as the I-team, as you mentioned, a hat trick for him in the first 2 periods. A great set play for Powerhouse, and now in firm control of this game with 1.8 seconds to go in the second.
Those goals at the end of a period, Brandon, we talk about them all the time. They are crucial, and they can ruin a team's mental going into a third period up this high.
Especially in a game that has so many implications. You know, if you're VISU Gaming, you were in a situation where you're only down by 1 with a few minutes to go in the second, and all of a sudden Powerhouse find that third goal, and you're like, well, that's okay. We can score a couple of goals in a period. We just have to lock things down defensively. But now, down by 3 with just 20 minutes to try to find 3 or 4 goals, the challenge becomes even more daunting. And I think you hit the nail on the head there, Lime, is that VISU Gaming not able to find as much success in getting past that blue line as they were in game 1. We mentioned that in that first game, you know, the possession game, they were dominating at 9+ minutes time on attack. It felt like they had a pretty easy time getting past that blue line and setting themselves up offensively. But despite that, it just hasn't translated here in this game. 10 shots on net, just a little bit over 3 minutes time on attack. That's a lot less than what we saw them have at this point of that game 1. So we'll see if they can maybe establish something and get some chances, but they're going to have a chance here. Down by 3, they're going to have to really get something going in play.
As we start period number 3 here at Sports Gamer GG, VISU Gaming going against Powerhouse HC, and we're going to see a breakaway to the start. Linesto all alone, what a move as he L2s and walks around goaltender Pettersson and goes backhand.
I think what made that move so beautiful was that he knew exactly what Pettersson was looking to do, maybe before he even knew what he was going to do. That one little L2 moving over to the backhand completely dodges the flying poke check effort of Pedersen. And, you know, we talked about VISU Gaming going to have to act and act quickly. I don't think that was the action there, looking to take a 4-goal lead now for Powerhouse HC. And it looked like they could find their way to maybe snag 3 or 4 points in this matchup.
As the puck is going to be moved out in this 5-1 game, Brandon, and I don't think that either of us saw this coming after game number 1.
No, not at all, especially when the big talking point coming in, not just to this series, but into this game too, is how these teams pretty much seemed inseparable in every way. They were tied in points coming in. They went to overtime in game 1 and had multiple times where the score was tied, and it just felt like nothing was separating these two sides. I think the last thing any of us expected was Powerhouse to come in and look just like their namesake, a powerhouse.
Here's Clotton trying to get things going the other way, but it is just not looking possible. VISU Gaming is trying to pressure, but it's opening up breakaways the other way. Here's Linesto, first to the puck behind the goal line. Tried to get that one around. Mookie Maestri is getting in his way. Good job by Mookie Maestri to get it out. Could be a breakaway the other way. It is. It's Sage all alone, and he scores.
And VISU saying, not so fast, my friends. There's still 15-13 left, and we want to take advantage of every second of it. That's a huge goal there for Sage on the breakaway. And you know, it's interesting, Tegan, we weren't seeing a lot of breakaways in the first game, but we've seen 3 or 4 here in this game, and all of them have been capitalized on by these two teams. And now all of a sudden, VISU Gaming, the tall task is still there, but they kind of just saw-at it away. That's all you can really do, just taking a play and a possession at a time and try to eat at that lead a little bit more when you get those opportunities. But that goal right there, see if maybe it can start something positive for them.
I think a caster's favorite saying here, Brandon, we've seen crazier things. As that puck is going to be poked off on the right-hand side by Katunen. Katunen gets that one up to Linesto. Back to Katunen. Katunen tried to build on that one and get it through, but it's going to open up an odd man rush the other way for VISU. VISU coming in, they get it out in front, but it goes all the way through. Couldn't find one of the players. And a great block there by the I-team. Sage trying to bring that one in. It's offside, and the I-team goes the other way. Spin. Gets that one over to Linesto. Linesto backdoor. What a feed to Burrito Kuningas. And that is a 6-2 game.
What a feed to where it almost looked like a tip there. Burrito Kuningas in front of the net. And that's where any player wants to be if they want to be a goal scorer. In front of the net, you never know what can happen. The puck is always going to be there, whether it be on a rebound or a shot on that you can tip. You're always going to get your chance there if you put yourself in the right spot. And Burrito Kuningas does so right there. You know, Tegan, we talked about crazier things happening. I don't think Powerhouse wants anything crazy.
That was a gorgeous goal. And then the puck's thrown out, and we see another one from the I-team. That's his 4th of the game.
Yeah, it might be April, but that might be one that VISU might want to have back in terms of tossing that one out. That's an unfortunate play, and going to get a timeout here to try to calm the momentum down. But how about Powerhouse HC here, Tegan? Just amazing display here that we've seen from him. 7-2 this early, and I think you said it best. I don't think anyone would have expected this type of result, especially from a VISU Gaming team that looked so strong there in that first game possession-wise.
What a game by Powerhouse. What an answer game. What a power move, Brandon, as they come back with just a demanding lead here.
Yeah, and you know, it's really fun to kind of see how this whole thing is turned, because like we said, we came into this talking about how, oh, things have been so close. The goalies have been the star of the show. It was 2-1 last game. I wouldn't be shocked if it was again this game. And, you know, all of a sudden, Powerhouse come in, they powerhouse their way through VISU Gaming and put up 7 in 50 minutes. So it just goes to show, Tegan, we say it all the time, expect the unexpected.
They wanted to win this one, and it is actually going to put them ahead of VISU Gaming in the standings, Brandon. As Clotton brings that puck in, tries to move it over to Karki, but she loses that one. Karki gets it back behind the net over to Sage, back to Clotton, back to Sage. Sage fires, and a great save by Sweetsuki Mestri. They throw it out, and that one slides right past the net as both teams, it looks like, just wanting to wrap this one up here, Brandon.
Yeah, and you know, if you're VISU Gaming, obviously the result pretty in hand, but want to try to get as many chances to get some momentum. So here's one for them here.
Katunen takes that one away, gets that one up to Burrito Kuningas. Burrito Kuningas back down low, give and go play as he stays behind the goal line. Throws that one over to the right-hand side to Linesto. Linesto couldn't connect with as Karki intercepts. and she sends that all the way down, but no icing on the play. First to the puck is Sage. Sage for VISU out front. As that puck kind of bounces around, couldn't find anybody's stick there, Brandon. Ends up on the right-hand side. Savanainen comes up with it for VISU. Gets it over to Claughton, down to Karki. They ring it around the outside. Savanainen with a shot on it. Goes off a body and wide. And Katunen moves it to the I-team. They look to go for another Omaha play, but it will be icing this time.
Yeah, and 5:14 to go. You figure Powerhouse, you would hope or assume that they'd be able to close this one out, but I think you have to give a lot of credit to their defense. The way that they have really been able to shut down VISU Gaming from getting that possession the way they were in Game 1, locking things up at the blue line. Such an improvement from Game 1 and Game 2 on that end, and you know what they say, defense wins championships. It's definitely been a big reason they're up in this game 7-2.
That one is going to be an icing once again, Brandon, and what a power answer from this Powerhouse team.
Yeah, and it's exactly what they needed. This was a big game for them in terms of the standings. Obviously, they were able to collect 1 point in Game 1, but if you lose this game, 1 out of 4 points, not going to cut it when you came in tied with VISU in the standings. So it was huge that they won this game, or at least found a point. Not only are you going to get 1, but going to get 2, so a 3 out of 4 point night for Powerhouse HC. Couldn't have asked for much more than that coming in.
Here's Claughton trying to move that one around. He's still going to hold it at the point. Gets it down to Sage. He rings it around behind the net to Mookie Maestri, who tries to go back for the wraparound. But Sage couldn't complete it. With 2 minutes to go, we'll get another face-off.
Yeah, you know, just kind of looking at the grand scheme of things, we talked about how, you know, Powerhouse, they were in such a thick playoff race. Well, 3 out of 4 points. Now, not only do they clear themselves a little bit of VISU, but now they may begin to the conversation for that 3rd seed. So it wasn't just big just to get away from VISU, but maybe they even improve their positioning a little bit. And it's been impressive to see these guys come up from the light division last season and play the way they have been. Very well deserved. And I think you said it, Tegan, a power statement from this Powerhouse squad.
That pass is going to be moved across, picked off by the I-team, who had an absolutely fantastic game for Powerhouse here. Claughton up the left-hand side looking for Sage. They can't get in, and that's kind of been the story here, Brandon, hasn't it? Is that VISU just hasn't really been able to get in and get anything going. As there's a slap shot. As they get that going, it's going to be bumped off. The I-team trying to work that puck out. They finally do. Katunen with 30 seconds to go. We're going to see a delayed penalty.
Yeah, I was going to answer you there. I didn't want to deny any one of your amazing casting. Looked like VISU had a chance there, but, you know, I think you have to be right there. You know, just the inability of VISU to be able to get past that blue line and set up shop in the offensive zone. And, you know, we kind of talked about Powerhouse being really good defensively so far in this game, too, but it's seen a drastic improvement from Game 1, and they just kept building on that. That great defense turned into great offense. They took advantage of a few lapses from VISU on breakaways, and, you know, when you have a team that can score the way Powerhouse has been able to, but they put it together defensively as well, it's so dangerous to have to play against, and being able to make a statement in a big game like this says a lot about what this team can really do.
So with 10 seconds to go, Brandon, it is going to be 3 points picked up for Powerhouse and only 1 for VISU Gaming, which is going to put Powerhouse to get ahead of VISU Gaming in the standings.
Yeah, they're going to be ahead by 2 points, so there is still some chance for VISU to try to find their way above Powerhouse or even higher, but obviously when you're facing a team that you're tied with in the standings, you want to try to take in as many points as possible. You know, they're not going to necessarily be pleased with 2 out of 4 points, but at the same time, you know, it's only a 1 point difference. I accidentally said 2, so my apologies for that, but only a 1 point difference. VISU get 2, Powerhouse get 3. They're not really too separated from one another, but Powerhouse is going to be very thrilled to be able to snag a few more points here in what was really a huge swing game and what was the standings for these two. If Powerhouse loses this game, it's 1 point compared to 4 for VISU, so that was huge for them to pick up that win. They did it in dominating fashion.
Yes, it's my mistake, Brandon. You're absolutely right. That is 2 points for VISU, not 1. My mistake. So Powerhouse getting a 3 and VISU getting a 2, which still puts them ahead. So huge games here is a 4. I believe that's not the score. I think that's an EA mix-up there, as it was a lot more goals than that. I think it was around the number 7 there, as there we see it 7-2, Brandon, and just a huge answer game here in the ECL Pro Division.
Yeah, and it's exactly what Powerhouse needed to do. Like we said, you know, this was a big game coming in, a big series coming in. They picked up a point in game one, but they dropped the extra one. No team wants to do that, especially when they are in the middle of an intense playoff race. So what do? You come the next game, you find a way to respond, and Powerhouse HC did just that. And it all started on this amazing breakaway that got the scoring kicked off.
Yeah, and it was just all downhill from there, unfortunately, for VISU Gaming. And it was an individual effort that got that started, and it just kind of kept the ball rolling for Powerhouse, didn't it?
Yeah, and sometimes there's nothing better than just being able to get that early momentum. And this game contrasts so many ways from game one. Obviously, in the first game, it took a while for us to even find the first goal of the game. We didn't get a score until about halfway through the second period. And Powerhouse did find the opening goal, but it was the only goal they scored all game. This time they found the first two goals, and when VISU Gaming kind of tried to fight their way back, they got that pivotal third goal, and after they went up 3-1, they just kept building and building and building, and it just felt like they just would not be stopped at any point from that point forward. You could tell how much they want this game. They knew what this game meant for their playoff chances. They played like a team that wanted to get into that top 8, and if they can play like this on a consistent level, I have little doubts that they'll be able to.
Well, if the Powerball keeps rolling, this Powerhouse HC club is going to be just pouring it on here as we continue through the ECL Pro Division here in week 4. But it is very, very tight here in the ECL Pro Division. We are going to go over how tight it is right after a quick break and a word from our sponsors.